Welcome back, my fellow duplicants. In the last episode here, we reached space for the very first time, went out and explored the nearest carbon asteroid in our steam rocket, and we have another rocket that is running off to this other carbon asteroid over here, just to go check it out. So, the objective of today is to actually make it to this third location over here, the metallic asteroid, using a booster. So in order to do a booster, we're going to need Oxylite, which isn't really going to be all that hard. You pretty much just either A, dig it up, or B, we're going to use a piece of equipment that does require a decent amount of power to run, but it's not that terribly unreasonable. And that is the Oxylite refinery. I actually did do a whole video on the Oxylite refinery here. However, it's not all that complicated, so you can pretty much just pay attention to it right just like this. Essentially, what we're going to do here is plop down the Oxylite refinery, and we want to make sure that we use a weight plate on top of it, and at that point, it'll pressurize whatever room it's in and disable once we built up enough Oxylite. And by the way, I've cut the video down to 30 frames per second because I've given up on ever being able to reach anything above 30 from now until forever. So sorry about that. It's just the way it is. Another thing to mention is that Clay has continued to update the developer build here, so there are a couple of new things that we have to be concerned with. One of the things being is that if we just have a light source within a room, it doesn't necessarily count anymore, because I guess that was too cheesy. It needs to be plugged in. Alright, how about this? I'll just put one little wire right there, and then that, see if that counts, or if it actually has to be powered. The other thing is that shine bugs apparently do count, if you want to throw them in a room and have that count as something. Here we go. Aha! Is it a room now? No. Alright, so does it need to be plugged in? But now can I disable it and it will still be a room? Ha! Patch me now, Clay! Next up, pips now plant seeds according to a broader set of rules that suits each seed rather than just checking for dirt. And that sounds like a really big experiment, which means several different types of soils, a bunch of pips on those soil, and that's about it. But you know what? Let's start off, rather than going to a big experiment test room, let's just throw some in here and see if we can actually plant some waterweed in its more natural habitat down here. This is, we got salt and we got sedimentary rock. Fair chance you might be able to plant in either of those. So I'm going to box them in, and we'll throw this little pneumatic door right there and deliver a couple of these little critters over here just to see if that'll work or not. A little bit of experimenting today. It's Friday. Hopefully you guys have had a good day. Looking forward to the weekend and all of that good stuff. Crap, that needs to be 4 tall, so let me just move that just a little bit. All right, so in this area, let's see here. This doesn't really need to be insulated. There's actually no point for it to be insulated. It's not that hot, nor is this a very temperature. Do I really care about the temperature in this area? Okay, so in here, we're gonna throw down that Oxylite refinery. Here you go, buddy. Where to put it? Do I want to put it? Yeah, we'll just put it right here. That should be okay. I think it drops out of that tile right there, so I'll go ahead and put the automation in that one spot. Okay, so 2 other pieces of equipment that I'm going to build in this area is going to be a little storage bin where I can put just a tiny bit of gold. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. This thing only uses milligrams of gold. And then an auto sweeper so that I can automatically feed the gold from this storage bin into the refinery so that it outputs Oxylite. Oxylite will just sit on this weight plate and build up more and more Oxylite, which will then pressurize the room to, I think, 1,800 grams. And then at that point, it will no longer give off oxygen because it'll be overpressured or something like that. I believe that's how that works. Maybe not. I can also build a second storage bin up here, and that's where I can store the rest of the Oxylite, just so it's close by, because I don't really want my dupes to run all the way down here, even though they can, and that would actually be an okay spot for it, because then since it's underwater, it wouldn't give off its oxygen, but whatever. Oh, you know what? I do have a dropper that I could use, so maybe I use that. Here's the extra Oxylite I was talking about. It's right down here. I got one of these little spiral jobs. So every time I dig that up, I'll get 100 kilograms of Oxylite, which will be useful for my booster, which I need to get to the 3rd planet location. Now I can also use that to go to some of these over here, and I can get Ooh, some fluorine, which would be trace amounts. I'm not really worried about the rest of that composition, though. There's nothing too fancy there. And we'll find out what I get from here. Do I want to store the oxylite underwater? I could do it. Fine, I'll do it. Alright, I suppose another thing I should start to work on here is just how many silos do I want and how much space do I want between them. If I put one here and here, then that means it's actually, is that as tight as I can go? So then I'd put another door there, and another door there, and one right here, and there. Meaning that gantry would go, maybe, depends on how big the rocket is, actually. Thing is, do I ever want a rocket that's taller than 5? I kind of feel like I would. Sorry if today doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'm bouncing around a lot. I just have a lot of little projects that are going on. The answer is yes. Yes, I will want to have a larger rocket than 5, for sure. Okay, so while that's a decent idea for spacing, the answer is I will want to have larger rockets, for sure. So I could have 5 research and a cargo bay, which requires both a fuel and oxidizer tank, so that makes that quite a bit larger. So rather than being 7 segments tall, that thing actually ends up being 9 segments tall. Huge. So that would put the base of the rocket right about there. If I go any further than that, then I'm just going to end up cooking my own dupes, which I don't want to do. Okay, so the next project I need to do up here is just to dig out all of this. Shouldn't be a big deal. These dupes should be more than capable of doing that. And then I will plan out the silos so that I have them built right here. I might want to be a little bit extra careful in this area so that the exhaust doesn't come down here and blow up my jet suits. So, but in this area I can at least get away with more of a jumbo rocket, and then I could expand this one over here to be more of a jumbo rocket. Not all of my rockets need to be huge, but definitely do need a couple big rockets. Speaking of which, this one actually came back, so aha! What I want to do is disable it so that we don't launch it. So just hang out, and we don't have a dupe inside of it, so that currently has no destination. Oh, speaking of which, that one is actually not Mantis. I just said don't go in. Thank you. So what I want to do is add a booster to this so that I can actually get to this location way out there. So if we take a look at the calculator here, you can see that without the booster, I cannot make it that far, unfortunately. But with the booster, I can get to 20,000 kilometers with 809 kilograms of steam. I might have to re-rig this thing up, though. Victor, bud. I can't take these dupes anywhere. There you go. A little bit more. Dude, you have what you need. Come on, Victor. Dude, now's not the time to sleep, Victor. Victor. New schedule. Where are you? Oh no, does this no longer scroll? Hold up. There we go. Now that I'm at the bottom. There you are. Get back to work, Victor. We'll name this Get to Work. No sleeping. There you go. Priority level 9, please. Oh, the lag. Help. Help. There we go. Come on, Victor. Just keep digging. Yes, but when you make a mess in space, nobody's around to see it. There you go. No evidence left behind. Look at that. Haha! You're free, Victor. You can go back to being those who are normal. Where are we? Victor. Nope. Wrong one. Dude, somehow this is broken, and it's driving me nuts. Well, I can't seem to move... Bubbles! Crap! I accidentally clicked on her and moved her down into those who are normal, but now I can't. Alright, well, I'll mark that one down as a bug report. I guess Bubbles is now part of those who are normal, because I can't click on her. Alright, there we go. I could just make her work forever. And then, aha! Aha! Take that. Super me. I caught you, bud. I saw what you're about to do. Heh. Alright, so now let's give Pips a try here. So let's put the food, where are you? Critter drop off. We're going to deliver some pips down here, and we'll see if there's 2 seeds down here that will be available to be planted, and we'll see if they plant in this area or not. Oops. What did I click here? I clicked salt water. Okay, fine. Guess that'll work. We'll store it in salt water then. I totally took my eyes off of this one. Oops. Okay, we'll just put that right down there. We get to construct that. This will be Oxylite storage. And in an effort to explode all of my wires, we'll just plug it right into this grid. I keep adding more and more equipment to my grid. Hey, good thing with this rock, this rocket's just hovering now. Cool. We'll build another engine down here, and then on top of that, yes, the solid fuel thruster, which I can't build because the engine's not there. You might be thinking, well, that looks like it's 1 extra. Well, you're right. It's because I might as well just throw another research module on there. Send 6, because why not? As far as the research is concerned, where am I at? Now that I've made 2 trips, I've nearly researched this. So I guess I got hit by a little bit of a rounding error or something like that. Ended up with a little bit extra, 384 somehow. So I guess I gotta make 1 more trip. Alright, that's alright, we can load it up. So before I go and deconstruct things, we'll just launch this 1 more time. Alright, Pips, where are you at? Okay, so Otto here is going to wrangle up one of our pips. One of these will be wrangled. Give it a moment. Which one? There it is. Alright, we're going to get a follow cam on this pip. Here we go. We're going to fly across the base. Look at this. Through a couple of slow doors. Some pleasant chatter. And there we go. So now, we've got a pip down here in some salt water. Check it out. You see the seed, right? Yeah, you see the seed. You want to do something. You want to do anything. There you go. Delicious sedimentary rock planted. Beautiful. Good job. So you know what that means, right? We can use a storage bin. I'm going to fill it with several of these saltwater water weeds, and I'll get my pip to plant them. Nice. Nice to see that works. Okay. But will it plant in the salt, or has that changed? Because it used to deal with how hard the soil was that it was trying to plant in. Ah, there it is. Answered my question. Yeah, this is a good pip. Okay, so water weeds, how many do I need? 1, 2. So I need 11 of those. We'll make that a nice high priority, so dupes bring them in. Aha, there we go. Oxylite. So how much do I want to store up in here? Well, I think 2,000 sounds like a decent number. And then I'll use my auto sweeper to kind of manage that inventory for me. And then with a little bit of an automation signal between here and there. And apparently a ton of oxylite that I've already built. Okay. If this goes above, let's say 100 kilograms, then I will disable it. So I have 2,100. Once I get that booster built, oh crap, I totally forgot about this. My bad. Trying to look in too many places at the same time. Oz spas, man. It's a bad spot to be. Dig yourself to freedom. Once again, if you pee in space, it just disappears. No need for bathrooms anymore. Hey. This is the way you want to go. There you go. Good job. Where are my seeds at, dupes? There they are. There they are. Boom! Alright. Good enough. This pip is so eager to get to work. How many do I have? 1. Who knows? We got some there. The pip is frozen. It found out that I was looking at it. Oh wait, there we go. Now it's moving again. Bam! There it goes. Planted another one. Nice. Alright, so it seems like I have a good operation here. I'm just going to try to scale it up. A bit of salt water there. I'm going to dig some stuff there. Cool. That's underway. Meanwhile, how's the rocket doing? Is it... It's not filled with gas. I tell you what. We're going to set it to a destination. We're just going to go back to one of these. And it'll launch when it's ready. Technically, a rocket doesn't need to sit on something, does it? Does anybody remember what the background buildings look like here? Oh, there's a hint. All right, we'll use our high-tech tools to figure out how to build something I already know how to build. 1, 2, 3, these are what? Window tiles. Oh, and in case I haven't mentioned it, yes, I'm building another shine bug reactor. I just continue to have more and more eggs, and I feel like... All right, so here we go. We're making oxylite now. I've set this to be below 100 kilograms. You can see we are storing it up over there. Just building it up little by little. You might be wondering, what's really the point of having this automation right here if you have it in a puddle? Yeah, I'm kind of wondering the same thing. But don't worry about it too much, okay? Don't worry about it. How much power are we running through this? Ooh. Okay, so actually, I'm drawing all of the power out of this shine bug reactor. So that whole grid up top is actually not even connected to the rest of my base. Okay. However, that one reactor does not have enough wattage to run this thing continuous, so it's actually bounce on and off. So I'll switch it up. I'll hook the automation up to the battery then. Okay, so with that in mind, we'll throw in an AND gate here and hook half of it up to a battery and the other half up to the weight plate. Oh yeah, totally forgot about gold. I need gold. There you go. I had it focused on the wrong spot. Launch! Doors are opening. Looks like, yeah, we don't need a base for the rocket. Have at it! Oz, you got stuck again, bud. There you go. Dig yourself to freedom. Okay, so how are we doing with the wild waterweed ranch down here? You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them planted now. So that's actually pretty good. Nice. Gold. I'll put a very small, let's make it worth the trip. 50 kilograms in there. So this thing is now bouncing on and off, depending on how the charge is. So that's a little bit easier, I guess. See, I'm not all that convinced that I want to be this close to this stuff down here. Because what I want to do below this bunker tile is I actually want to have a box. And inside that box, what I'm going to do is place some steam. And because I can put steam inside of there, I can store up a large amount of energy that is given off by the rockets. So I could just increase the amount of steam that's in that tile in order to increase the capacity that I'm able to capture from an engine. And then using some other tiles and things like radiant gas pipes and gas liquid pipes or whatnot, or not gas liquid pipes, you know what I'm talking about, pipes. I could run that through there and have that either heat up crude oil into petroleum to fuel the rocket, or I can use it to run a steam generator to just get more power out of it, because why not? So I don't want that to be too close. I do have Oxylite down here, which is a fantastic insulator, but I'm a little... it's kind of close. That's kind of close right there. I'll give these two a try before I build more over here, just to kind of see where I want to end up. I might have some shorter rockets in this area and then bigger rockets. I don't know how many rockets I'm going to have. As many as possible, right? But for the background buildings, we'll just go ahead and fill that in. I think what I want to do, because I can get kind of my loops figured out, I think I might want to make that 4 tall altogether. So if I do this number and then just put like a diamond tile right down there, and then dig out one space around it, that creates a nice insulated situation. The only thing is I'm not sure if that is enough to contain all of the thrust that the rocket puts out. I haven't actually tested that, so I'm thinking that if it's empty space, it shouldn't be a big deal. There we go. How to trap 3 dupes. Leon's going to entomb him. Oh, nope. Auto got out. Oh, you know what? Temperature shift plates do hold a vacuum. So maybe I want to use temperature shift plates here instead of drywall. It would increase the mass in that area, which is okay. So yes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use diamond. We'll put diamond right here. And then we'll just make this just a tad bit smaller. Just like that. Now, can I put a liquid port on top of a temperature shift plate? That's actually a good question. Of course you can. Beautiful. Okay. This will give me a good use for all of this diamond I have. Otherwise, I don't really have a good use for 30 tons of it. Then again, each one of these is 800 kilograms, so it'll go by quick. Okay, so I was wondering, how am I going to get a pip into here? I could just use a pip egg. That way, I could do this with just 2 tiles tall, rather than 3. If I set that to 1 kilogram, just one little pip egg will end up over there. Yes, and then eventually I'll just be able to... Oh, you know, it'll hatch and do its thing, man. Self-explanatory. It's Friday. Okay, so I definitely forgot about all of this. I guess we just need to plug this in. And then disable the light bulb. What other room is not working now? You're not working. This one too. Bam! And my rocket has returned. Sweet. Alright, so that should be something like, yes, 50 databanks down there. So the second time I went to that same planet, I only got 50 out of it. Now, what does this place have? Ooh, Isarine, niobium? Not a lot, like 2%, but that is more than nothing. So Isarine can be used along with abyssalite to make insulation, which is essentially going to be 0 thermal conductivity as far as an insulated piece of equipment goes, which is really useful in a couple of situations, especially once we get into really high temperature stuff, which I've been avoiding touching over here. So this crude oil, although its temperature right now is not all that significant, it does output at 326 degrees Celsius, which is very, very hot. When you consider that it's in this biome that's actually a cold biome. So when I start to increase that to higher temperatures equipment, such as like a sour gas boiler, which is going to take things up to like 500 and some degrees and then bring it back down to like negative 200 degrees, that's some very extreme temperature shifts there. So using things like insulation wherever I can will help make that more efficient rather than it soaking into the environment. The other alternative is to build it in space, which provides a natural insulation. But we can also make Visco Gel, which is an interesting way to make a gel that you can actually put down that doesn't let gas flow through it. You can basically stack it vertically. So what I could use is a little bit of Visco Gel like right here and stop a little bit of oxygen flowing out every time you open up this door. So it's a way to make airlocks, especially if you put it in between 2 mechanized air doors. It's kind of a fun way to make an airlock, which again is useful in many situations. However, we tend to get around that quite often. Okay, so now I've researched the solid field thruster. We'll be able to build that right there. Viscrimson, man, you're building this solid field thruster so slow. Where's my soup dupes at? Look at what we found. A vacillator recharge. Boom. Okay, so the next thing I want to research here is going to be a solid cargo. Okay, so the next thing I want to research here is going to be solid cargo. So that would actually allow me to bring back stuff like niobium, which is going to be a higher temperature metal, which is very useful. It goes up to about 500 or maybe 600-ish. I think 500-ish degrees Celsius on most pieces of equipment. And since we have a stronger engine, we could probably go ahead and launch a little bit further if we wanted to. Okay, so the other thing is we also have the Petroleum Engine now, so I can start to build that rocket. Matter of fact, I could replace this and just not use steam anymore, which might be a good idea. But you know what? I already have it all plugged up and everything ready to go. Oh, Viscrimson, come on, buddy. Work faster. Today. Okay. Okay, so now the solid field thruster here takes a little bit of iron. Apparently we already delivered the Oxylite. No, we already have the iron. We're waiting for Oxylite. 400 kilograms of one, 400 kilograms of the other. So what I should do is set this to 1,100. Yes. And that's set to 100. Therefore, the maximum amount, I have enough for 3 solid field thrusters. Not that I'll actually use those too much, but hey, they're cool. Actually, they're not cool at all. They're super hot. Okay. So I'm starting to run into a bottleneck with the amount of steel I have because I am only getting so much lime out of my eggs over here. So it's actually in my best interest to continue to expand this and get more and more critters so that I can turn more and more eggshells into lime. The other thing is I have to go down to the bottom of the map and dig up more of that fossil stuff. There's plenty of it down there, but I'm definitely using a lot of steel these days. So I just noticed that I've pretty much slowed down my steel production, and it's because I've run into a bottleneck with the amount of lime I have. So once we get this up and running again, just a little bit of water right there, then I will take care of that. Victor! Bowhead. Oh, hey, cool. Check this out. We got a robot arm. It's not functional. It's just cool. But that gives us a spot that we could put something on display down here. Once we scroll through it enough. I want a robot. That would be cool. All right, there you go. Robot arm. Forgot about this. Made a giant mess. My bad. It's okay. If you mop right here, that should leave me with just the right amount of water right there. Dupes. Do what I tell you. I'm getting hungry. Okay, there we go, Mantis. Sweet. Sweet. Yes. Okay. So now, when I build that right there. And then put the door right there. Once we get around to it. This thing makes so much noise. Yes. Yes. Come on now. It's Friday. What am I doing? I don't need water there, do I? No, I don't need water there. I need water right here. No, I don't need water. Yes, I do. Because the door... It's so Friday. It's so Friday. Build that tile, please. Alright, so I'm going to load up Mantis into this rocket. Look at how big this one is. This is massive. Alright, so now that is going to launch off and head towards the metallic asteroid. I'm actually quite curious to see what we have for a world composition up at that location. I think that might be a frequent flight that we end up making many, many times here. Okay, so here we go. Boosh. Look at that. Wow! I love it when the flames go flying like that. That was cool. So this is going to take 5.5 cycles to go there and back. So it's kind of a long trip. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot about my pips down here. I think the egg turned into an omelet. And this pip in here must have starved to death. My bad. Okay, so for my second rocket here, what I'm going to use is petroleum. So I have that being piped up right now. So I need the liquid tank. And I'll also need an oxidizer, which in this case I have Oxylite that I just built up. So I'll use that just for a little bit. So I can use the solid oxygen tank on top of that. Okay, so I'm done with using steam to get into space. So I'm just going to go ahead and deconstruct all of that. I don't need it anymore. At this point, everything is going to be petroleum or hydrogen, if I can get some liquid hydrogen. Which I should be able to do, actually. Whoa, I didn't want that much. I wanted 595. Dupes were so fast at filling it with Oxylite. Please stop. Is there a way to empty that? Deconstruct it, maybe. Yeah, that worked. Cool. Solid oxygen tank. Okay, go ahead and build it, but please. Please don't overload the Oxylite. I only need 595. Can I take multiple cargo bays, though? Ooh, no, not without multiple liquid fuels. Now, Stinky. I see. Careful. 1037 is actually what I want because I'm going to put 2 cargo bays on top of this. So we'll make a big run. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Hey, you're forgetting something. Stinky, sweep up the Oxylite. These dupes. What am I ever going to do with them? All right, so I don't have... Okay, so I don't have the cargo bay researched just yet. So I need to make sure I go down here and make sure I'm on the right thing. Yes, cargo bay research takes 200. I'll have that when this thing comes back. And as far as the liquid is concerned, once I have fueled up my jetpacks, this should probably be insulated stuff. Might get kind of toasty, but I can go fuel up my rocket. Now, I will want to change the way that I'm actually generating petroleum, rather than using the equipment to actually using heat, but I'll want to do that relatively soon. I could either use, I'm thinking about either using the rocket exhaust to do that, or some volcano heat, or magma down there. I could use the magma too, that works. A tad bit of automation here, and we'll get this 4th shine bug reactor up and running. Once somebody mops this up, please. Now, why am I not building any ceramic? What's going on down here? I thought I had this thing set up. Ceramic, continuous. Oh, that's why. It is not hooked into the world clock. Gotcha. There we go. All right, there we go. It deposited a boatload of eggs down there. Good to go. Man, I'm not even feeding these. They're still happy. Guess that just goes to show how little phosphorite this thing actually uses. Like, there's no reason not to crank this thing to the max. I mean, unless you like your frame rate. Hey, guess what's happening? A rocket is returning. We're gonna try to capture this. Get ourselves a nice little screenshot here. Yeah, look at that. And touchdown with a boatload of research. It looks so cool. Ooh, look at that. We even got something special out of it. What did we get? Oh, we got like a rock thing. Nice. I tell you what, we'll build a little museum right down here. You can just see all the different things that we bring back from space. Okay, so now I'm going to have to modify this rocket. We're going to get rid of the steam engine, and we're going to replace it with a petroleum engine, liquid fuel tank, solid tank, and all of that as well. Actually, that might end up being a liquid oxygen tank. I don't know, we'll have to see. Because it will have to fly even further into the star map. So I'll need to go to 30,000 if I want to get more research. Well, not if I want to get, I mean, I can get more research just by going to the short planet, but you know what I mean. I'm here for the big data. I want all the data. So if we follow Stinky, he's got a bunch of data with him. Bam! And there we have it. Tons of data waiting to be researched. Let's make sure I have the right thing selected. I do. Cargo bay. And then the next thing that I could research if I wanted to, I could do the gas cargo canister or the liquid cargo tank, if I really wanted to bring back either of those. But the thing I kind of like more is the liquid oxidizer tank. But that is 800 research. Bam! There we go. Bubbles did the research. And now I have my cargo bay. So what I can do is get rid of this research module. I just kind of put it there as a placeholder. Okay, so next time here we're going to research farther into space by checking out some of these other locations. A little bit further, try to get out here to 30 kilometers or maybe 40,000 kilometers. But I think I'll also try to send out a cargo bay to one of these locations as well. So of the 2 locations that I already have researched, we've got this one down here. This has a little bit of fluorine, trace amounts, and niobium at 4%, which is, well, it's more than this asteroid down here with niobium of 2%. However, that has isurine, and I think I like isurine more, so I will probably send a rocket here to that location. So with that in mind, I'm going to go to 10,000. How far, what can I take there? Ooh, I can't do, it's 564 kilograms, but I already put like 1,000 into that thing. Oh well. We'll configure the oxidizer tank for 564 kilograms, and we'll send up 2 cargo bays. So I can't make 3 work. Unless, can I boost it? No. So that's going to be a small little rocket. So that might be a little rocket launch that we just run over and over again. However, that will have to happen here in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar.